Well, hello to everybody. This is Charles Richard, and I'd like to welcome you back to our series that we are actually, doing with Fuji for cinematography. So, in this video, I am going to continue showing you the capabilities of what these cameras can do. Our first video was sort of getting you wet into, several things, that were basic, that are very basic, that can affect the way that your image looks. Now, I had some really crazy, comments, which, I'm not even going to get into that because it's not worth my time, to be honestly truthful, you know what I'm saying? But it was like really crazy comments, and again, I'm not even going to get into that. But if you don't know, okay, about cinematography, if you don't know about filming is not videography, guys. Filming is not videography. Don't compare videography with cinematography, because it's two different ball games, completely different, so I'm not even going to go there. So anyways, I went to Central Florida Zoo. And the reason that I went to Central Florida Zoo was for several reasons why I chose that. Number one, it's really hot today. It's like almost like 98 degrees, 99 degrees. So it was crazy, crazy, stupid hot, right? And so that's one thing. The second thing, all right, was that, we needed to get some of the control some of the colors, and in order to control some of the colors, I needed to be in a little bit shaded area. And this particular zoo is very shaded because it's got a lot of trees, a lot of foliage, wetlands, you know what I'm saying. So it's really nice, and so and all this shade helps control the not only the heat, okay, but also the colors that we're able to get a little bit better. All right, I used my Fujifilm, all right, which is what we are learning with right now, right? The Fujifilm X-T4. With the 7 Artisan, I took the 7 Artisan, the 50 millimeter 0.095. This is the lens that we are going to be working for a while, all right, until I show you how to get into the more advanced things that the Fuji can do for cinematography, as far as highlights, as far as shadows, all these things you can control inside the camera without having to do it in your linear editor. And it's a huge difference when you do that, all right, because it's going to save you a lot of time, and you're going to be able to get it as close as you can without having to do a whole bunch of color grading. All right, so with that said, let's take a look at the video, all right, that I shot a couple of hours ago, and then I'll come back and I'll give you my thoughts about it. Okay, very interesting, right? Okay, yes, we are taking a look at some issues. It is not the camera that has these issues. It is this particular lens. Because remember, the first thing that I did mention was this lens is full of character. Now, some of this character is character that I want to use, but some of it is just stuff that really I don't want on the actual recording. And one of the things, if you've noticed, is this particular lens produces a little bit of magenta, a little bit too much of magenta, and you can see it when, for example, when the rhino is walking, into the his pen, right? You can see, like, on top of his coat, of his skin, right? You can see the magenta kind of creeping in a little bit. You can also see it in the feeding of the animals, right, where the skins of the people in the back are a little bit magenta. It's got a little bit too much pinkish, right? Okay, that is a trait of the lens, all right? It is not a trait of the camera. It is not the film simulation, all right? Because this particular recording, I did it completely flat, all right? So what is producing these magentas, right, is the lens, right? But it's got enough of the character that I am looking for, and because I know that the Fujifilm system, and the X-T4, the X-T3, especially the X-T4 and the new XH2S, we have capabilities within the camera to actually, alter the colors, all right, inside the camera, the hues, the colors, the not only the shadows and not only the highlights, but you can also, alter the color that is actually being produced by the camera. So you gotta take this into consideration. But I'm sure that somebody's gonna go, oh, but it's got so much magenta. Guess what? Okay, I'm trying to show you what the lens produces. Now you saw what it can produce, okay? Now as we move forward on our next series, I will teach you how to use the Fujifilm cameras and how to correct these colors. You need to understand what it's doing. You need to understand the gear. You need to understand what are the capabilities of the gear, and how to go about addressing issues. Every lens, okay, doesn't matter what lens it is, doesn't matter what camera it is every time that you put any gear together, it's always going to give you shortcomings or issues in certain areas. Now the issue that is at stake right now is that in normal scenarios, right, all these shortcomings that some of this equipment has is actually corrected in post-production. It is corrected with your linear editors, whether it be DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, all these imperfections are corrected there, and then wow, you see something that's really beautiful, and voila, and you think that, oh my god, is the most beautiful color in the world, and blah blah blah, but the objective here is to show you how to do the most that you can and how to be able to get the most out of a Fuji camera, so that when you are actually filming, you don't have to go out and do all this crazy post-production stuff and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? That is the objective here. So tell me what you think, all right? Tell me what you think of the video. Tell me, any comments, and anyways, we will continue, okay, in this series. I'm going to try to bring you, as many videos as I can on at least, every 2 days, every 3 days. I'm trying to post this as quickly as I can, as long as the weather is okay and as long as I can go out and shoot, then definitely I'll always bring something to you. Personally, I love the Fujifilm. This setup. I chose this setup because this lens is not only because of the character, excuse me, but also because it is very inexpensive. All right. Another thing that I forgot to mention is in this particular video that we just saw, I did not use no ND filter. I did not use no polarizer. The colors that you were looking at were coming straight and directly from the lens. All right, from the lens, with nothing at all. The lens in its most natural state. The camera was set in its most natural state. All right, it was not altered. Everything was set to zero. There was your highlights, your shadows was not muted. No, everything was exactly how the camera can produce it with this combination. Now that we know what it can produce with this combination, now we need to address, all right, and the areas that need to be corrected. And on the next video, I will start showing you how we address these issues. Our first video, we sort of briefly, covered the things that can actually affect your colors, like the heat and that sort of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because if it's too hot, it's going to create a haze, and sometimes you'll wonder, well, why am I getting this haze? Why is it looking like it is? You know what I'm saying? So that is, some of the things that I'm just very briefly covering. I'm not trying to, give you a really in-depth, history of that you need to do this and that it needs to be recorded and this and you need to do that. I'm not trying to do that, okay? If you need to learn that, you can go to film school. All right, I'm not being paid, and I don't monetize my videos for none of that stuff. I'm just giving you, a brief, as briefly as I can, right, to try to show you that these cameras do work very well for cinematography, but you got to know how to use it. And I am trying to show you what I do for me, for my projects, for my short films, how I set up my cameras, how I make these decisions, and how I am able to set these cameras to be able to do these short films, documentaries, and that sort of stuff. So with anything else anymore to say, I'd like to wish everybody a very happy Father's Day. This is the weekend for Father's Day, so if you're a father, happy Father's Day. And hit me up in the comments and and let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next video, guys. Cheers.